Alexander Thompson, and I'm a final year student at the Slade School of Fine Arts, UCL. I also direct and edit professionally. I used to be a cathedral chorister at Christchurch Cathedral, Oxford, and we used to do occasional film things. The Songs of Praise came along. I walked in and they had this big camera on a pole, and all these big lights, and this director was writing down those shots. He was like doing this all the time. I was like, right, this is what I want to do. And then a couple of weeks later, went off, got a camera, and just started making films. The first one was a documentary on a day in the life of a chorister. I went to Stowe after Christchurch, and there was like a mini obsession with BB guns, so we started doing gangster kind of movies, and like people getting shot, and then we're adding effects over the top. That was some other kids who were like, Alex, can you film us shooting everyone with some BB guns?
And then you turn around.
And then, because I was the only one who knew how to use the camera and edit and so on, it kind of was down to me to go like, okay, let's do a shot here and stuff like that. But it was a kind of very collaborative thing. And then I made a short film that was like 23 minutes long. All about like a guy dreaming that his friend kills him, and then he gets paranoid, so he kills his friend. So the reason I went to art school, not film school, is because once you take away all the technical aspects of film, all you're left with is kind of the creative side. So everything's self-taught. I taught myself how to edit. So, you know, aged like 18 or whatever, I was already way ahead of most people at film school. Film school had been me just making films, you know, from the age of 12. And also I do loads of I have crazy ideas all the time of why I'm at art school, why don't I just go to film school. So I devised this three-way switch. It's very, very complicated piece of engineering. It took ages to create, but basically now I can do film, or I can do art, or I can do both at the same time, and I really blew people's minds with that. This one is a reset button that you can press, and when you press it, it actually resets art. So you've got to use it carefully. You know, you don't want to just keep pressing it too many times. But you know, so do you feel that? Postmodernism. I did another graveyard that was like miniature graves of all the different artistic movements. And then this is my irony piece, which is another kind of example of the kind of joke. It's just a really simple play on words, you know, iron, why, irony. So art school was just the logical place to go because I do loads of other stuff, but I could also make films. This room is designed so you never get lights in the corner of your eye, you know. People often make the mistake of putting halogens in the ceiling and so on everywhere, but it just hits your eye all the time. The best kind of bars and so on, the ones where you can't see the light, it's all just like the glow from it. There are lots of different themes that go through everything that I do, you know, like colour. So this room has coloured lights. We've got these coloured blocks, which I still want to do, I want to return to in my art. I don't think I've ever really finished playing around with those. Coloured shoes, coloured trousers. I just hit upon quite a strong idea for a brand. You know, I've edited, been an assistant editor in advertising. You know, I do stuff for clubs in Oxford and bars and so on. They come to me and like, yeah, we don't really know what to do. I just look at, you know, what it looks like, what the business is, and I can think of something immediately. So it's just something, that sort of side of stuff just comes very naturally. One of the reasons I was lucky to work with the guys who do all the Jaguar stuff, just because the director who does all of that he's a similar sort of wired guy, you know. He does stuff that's kind of very to the beat and very kind of synchronised editing and so on. And I did that at the Slade with Trip on the Underground. And advertising has a very good parallel with art. You know, a lot of conceptual art and so on is trying to make an impression on you. Whereas conceptual art, you might have to have read, you know, some philosopher or whatever, or you have to have understood this to understand that. But advertising is just like immediate, and there's all sorts of things going on in an image that's kind of having a subconscious effect, you know, and I think that's really interesting. I like to do stuff in time with the music. Sometimes go through phases where it's really powerful, like it's blobs of colour going in time with the music and like different patterns and so on. Other times I just think of cool shots. This comes straight back to this thing I have of visualising music, that what I was always trying to do when I was a video DJ was to match all the visuals to what the DJ was playing. It's like editing in real time. I enjoy being at art school and wandering around and seeing like the randomest stuff, but you know, I can't take it seriously, and it goes through, you know, back into Gallery Girl.
It really says something without saying anything.
Gallery Girl's about a kind of serial player who goes up to girls in galleries, asks them what they think of the work, and this one girl he gets, she goes and tells all her friends, she's really excited about it. She goes out, gets drunk, texts him, and it all falls apart. He is talking bullshit. He doesn't know anything about art. He's seducing her by going, oh yes, it looks very much like this, doing this arty speak. And she's like, yeah, even though what he's saying is completely meaningless. And so it kind of comes back to this thing, you know, I'm quite interested in the way people talk about art, the absurdity of a lot of descriptions and so on.
But I prefer conceptual art. It's got greater depth.
If everybody at the Slades was kind of thinking the same stuff, and just like, yeah, I really love contemporary art, let's go and make some. I think it makes it more interesting that I'm coming along and I'm going, yeah, I don't really like art, you know, but I'm doing it. You know, I did an A-level piece where I did a film and then I used all the props and so on from the film to create like a room that you went in, you sat at the desk of the kind of character, and then you watched the film. And that's kind of coming back to, you know, this the thing I've done, Gallery Girl, where I could show the film and then have all of the artworks I used in the film to kind of create this kind of space that's sort of mimicking the film.
You make fun of art and stuff, like you make...
Yeah, I mean, I can't take it seriously either. I in some ways I think it's like the biggest and best joke that anyone's ever pulled, like in the last century.